Welcome back to Brands Hatch. Just a quick one to tell you about. It's Monday Night Football. The New York Giants take on the Minnesota Vikings. That's Monday. It's an early one, of course, because it's live from America, 1:30 in the morning. But if you don't want to stay up into the night on British Eurosport 2 to catch that, you can see the highlights. That's Tuesday, 7 o'clock in the evening. British Eurosport HD is the place to be. Don't forget, you can get it all on www.eurosportplayer.com as well. Well, we are here at the end of pit lane, and we have a couple of minutes before the Eastern Airways Sidecar Championship gets underway. The first race of the day here at Brands Hatch in continually tricky conditions. Philip Neal, the team boss of Taiko Suzuki, has joined me here. Philip, thanks for coming to have a quick chat. Let's talk about the very positive qualifying session that your team has just enjoyed. Josh Brooks on pole position. Sum up that performance for us, and how was it for you?
Obviously, it was perfect. He's been on the pace all weekend, really, Josh, wet or dry. And, of course, he is a bit of a maestro in the wet, and our GSX-R 1000 seems to work really, really nice in the wet. The guys do a great job. Both engine and electronics, they do a nice job in the wet weather. We've always been strong, and Josh is the best wet weather rider out there for sure, and he just proved that once again.
He has a phenomenal feel on that bike, doesn't he? As we're watching the super slow-mos of him come round, and it's so tricky to ride these bikes in these conditions. Very hard to get across the level of control that these guys has. But given that level of control, you must be fairly confident. I don't want to put words in your mouth, but are you fairly confident for the race later on today and the subsequent races tomorrow if we get to see that?
Well, I mean, obviously anything can happen in these conditions. We all know that. You can touch a white line and your race is over on the first lap. But you know, all things being equal, yes, Josh is going to be right there in the rain. Of course, there's less pressure on him this weekend. In fact, well, I wouldn't say no pressure, but there's no championship pressure anyway. And he's going out for the win. And certainly, if it stays in these conditions, we'll be very hopeful.
Well, we'll let you go. Thanks for talking to us, Philip. I know you've got stuff to do, so you push on with that.
Thank you.
It's time for us to get underway with the Eastern Airways Sidecar Championship race. You can hear the guys heading off behind us. Let's go over to our commentary team of James Whittam, and kicking things off, it's Mr. Barry Nutley.
Thank you, Tony. It's a very wet and soggy Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit here for the first of today's two races. The final round, round 10 of the Eastern Airways British F1 Sidecar Championship, with Tim and Tristan Reeves already crowned champions. They did the job at Silverstone. Tim lifting his 5th title, and great for Tristan, his brother, his very first British title. So they've done it. So the story this weekend is all about the battle for second place. And I have to say, any one of 5 crews could mathematically do it, but realistically, we're talking about the Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson, L&W Suzuki outfit. They are lying in second place in the table, and Ben Holland and Lee Watson, there you have it. 250 points, double points up for grabs this weekend. So theoretically, Andy Peach could lift 100 points if he were to win both races. So that's how it stacks up. The main threat, Ben Holland, Lee Watson. Outgoing champion Roger Lovelock, Aki Alto could still do it mathematically, as indeed could Sean Hegarty and James Neve. They've overcome their mechanical problems. Edwards caught fire yesterday in qualifying, so whether he's made it to the grid or not, I do not know, but he qualified well and then promptly caught fire. Barry James and young Sam Christie from Drown Stevens. Chat bloke with Patrick Farrance. Steve, I was going to say, Patrick Farrance is one of 4 passengers this weekend who's ridden with Tim Reeves. Unbelievable. The Birchells there don't start this weekend. Interesting stuff. So let's have a look how they lined up after qualifying. Row 1 very much featuring pole position the Reeves brothers from Lovelock, whose BMW was unbelievably quick. Andy Peach also has a BMW sitting in the garage, but he opted to stay with the tried and tested Suzuki with the championship at stake. That's row 2, Peach and Hegarty. So that's your top 4 in qualifying. Ben Holland could do no better than row 3. Alongside him, Tony Brown with Ashley Hawes, another one of Tim Reeves' former passengers. Ricky Stevens, Ryan Charwood, and Gary Horsepole take up the row behind them. Gary Horsepole's Honda going well, but he's swapped it all. Next season, he'll be out on Suzuki. It is very wet here. A lot of standing water here. James, big wet tyres. These things, they're not going to fall off them, but they're going to slip, slide everywhere.
I was just going to say they slip around a lot more than the solos because they don't fall over. That's not to say they're going to be much more fun than it is in a solo in conditions like this.
They have the obligatory rear wet lamp, of course, so they have a big, bad visibility red light on the back of these outfits. It's 10 laps, so we're talking 25 miles of this Brands Hatch Grand Prix circuit. Number 57, Tony Brown, with Ashley Hawes in there, and the pressure is really on. Rod Robinson with your very good friend, the cement mixer man, holding down the third wheel. You remember him?
Yes, I do. Yeah, offended him a couple of times.
Yeah, away we go then. Off they go. Tim Reeves from pole position, getting his nose in front, but Sean Hegarty with James Neve looking as though they might have grabbed it as they go round Paddock Hill Bend. And look at that, they're pushing Reeves wide. Hegarty now is quick round Brands. These two rubbing fairings, but first into Druids. Tim and Tristan Reeves get the drop. Then it's Andy Peach. Ben Holland on the Finning Cat yellow and black Suzuki, right there in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th place. Can he do anything about it? He's got to go, because Peach, who confessed to being nervous, the number 4 LNW Suzuki man, second in the championship, is looking to go inside Hegarty for second place and claims it. Well, that was a good move.
Yeah, and Hegarty and Reeves there just toughing it out going into Druids, and Reeves definitely kind of kept the throttle over and didn't go for the brakes just that fraction longer.
Lots of standing water, you can see even on the camera lens spots of rain, but a good move by Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson. Don't go too much too soon. Up the inside, Hegarty fighting back. This is very quick. Sean Hegarty then from Felixstowe, the tarmacker. They're in the civil engineering business, he and his father, and they put this bike together working all hours of day and night, as indeed do most of these sidecar crews, James, because unlike a lot of the top solo boys, they have to do all the work themselves.
Yeah, and that's what I really like about these sidecar lads. You know, they're all kind of hands-on, grufty fingernails, do a lot of work themselves. They drive the vans to the meetings. And when you look in the paddock, you know, it's not people who've bought rides on these sidecars. These are owner drivers who's driven their own vans. The missus is doing the teas, and it's all a really more of a family kind of old-school racing affair.
And we're seeing some of those new families come into the championship as well. But let me tell you what's unfolding here. Andy Peach, second in the championship on 250 points. He is in a 40-point position at the moment. The man on the inside of him, Hegarty, pushing hard. Hegarty is in 5th in the championship on 186, so still in with a mathematical chance of lifting second place. And he's gone inside again, underneath Andy Peach of Druids, and what that has done, James, it's pushed Andy Peach right back into the clutches of Ben Holland and Lee Watson, the men chasing them in the title.
For second place in the championship, yeah.
So very much the thorn in the side of Andy Peach then. It's Sean Hegarty with James Neve, and James Neve told me they're going to team up for next season. That's great stuff. Through goes Peach again, on the inside, along into Surtees. It's Andy Peach back again.
This Peach and Hegarty battle here, you know, the ones you see in the front of the shot on the orange bike, and then the one on purple and yellow. One's quicker on one part of the circuit, and then by a considerable amount, and then the other part of the circuit, the other one's quicker by a considerable amount.
I'll tell you what, Ben Holland knows what he's got to do. The number 60 yellow and black Finning Cat, he knows what he has to do, and that is not let Andy Peach go away from him. And Sean Hegarty is proving to be a bit of a problem there.
Yeah, that's it. Holland needs to get past the purple and yellow outfit there of Hegarty if he's going to. Yeah, look at that. You see, Peach is already putting some distance into him now.
We also have a guy here from Austria, finished 6th in the world. Grabmuller is down in 21st place at the moment, so Michael Grabmuller having something of a riding lesson here. But in fairness to him, he will not know the circuit the way these guys do. Andy Peach lives very close to Brands Hatch and has done an awful lot of racing round this circuit, so as indeed as Sean Hegarty, so he'll certainly know. These are going away, but right with them, it's Tony Brown and Ashley Hawes, the man who won the BMC Championship, came into this series as a wild card and has now really made his mark. But Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson,
and this is we've seen this is a part of the circuit where Hegarty now he's lost about a second and a half to Peach, and now he's right back on his back wheel and going up the inside here. Drew, it's amazing.
And he's got it again. He's claimed it this time. Now is he going to be able to make it? Oh, Ben Holland going through. Ben Holland and Lee Watson underneath. So Andy Peach has dropped 2 places in one fell swoop. Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson, their nemesis in the championship chase, is ahead of them.
Yeah, and I don't know what it is, but you know, Peach just doesn't like this Indy part of the circuit. That's where Hegarty and Holland are a lot quicker than him. Holland having a look at second now.
Oh, Ben Holland up to second and making it stick as well. He's on the inside, but round the outside, Sean Hegarty driving hard. There's absolutely no contact. What brilliant riding from Ben Holland and Lee Watson. Up to second on the Finning Cat Suzuki. They go. They are now some 6 seconds adrift of the race leader, but it doesn't matter. This is where the battle is.
Yeah, for second place in the championship. The leaders in the race have already won the championship, remember? That's Reeves and Reeves.
Talk us through.
Yeah, this is going up into Druids, and you can see that Hegarty's got back into second, and Holland just, that was a kind of passive opportunity that on Peach. But Peach doesn't, the guy on the orange outfit doesn't seem to like this, and he seems to have trouble getting grip on the Indy part of the circuit.
Well, this is going to really set things up now. It's Ben Holland has moved into that 40-point position. Conversely, we're talking 26 points for Andy Peach, so he's clawing back 16 points.
That's
here,
it, yeah.
and that is hugely significant.
Absolutely.
This is all about second in the championship. Sean Hegarty doing no harm to his standing, because he will overhaul Roger Lovelock, who is trailing in 8th place at the moment. Sean Hegarty and James Neve on the Q8 Suzuki, number 33, the yellow and purple machine. They're doing themselves the power of good. And now Ben Holland and Lee Watson, all with a massive slide.
That slide for Hegarty there at the bottom of Paddock Hill, that actually started at the top of Paddock Hill. As he went over the crest, he lost the rear, he slid sideways, and now you can see Holland sliding about Druids completely.
I tell you what, James, you're a racer. You've raced as hard as any in the world. In Andy, oh, out of it goes Gary Horspool and Paul Napton. So the Honda LCR is out of it. So the Krombacher did them no good this weekend, or maybe they had too much of it.
Not at all. You can see from the mass it's gone in backwards, so I think that's a fairly simple kind of spin-out situation there.
I was about to say, given the situation Andy Peach was in second place, given where he is in the standings, now he's been relegated. What's going through his head? Is he panicking? He's trying to stay calm? What?
Well, I mean, if he's trying to stay calm, he'd be panicking because he doesn't seem to have the pace of the man there, Holland, on the Finning Cat Suzuki, that he needs to get second in the championship.
And here comes Tony Brown.
Yep, he's not going to end up staying 4th for long he's at Peach either, I think.
Tony Brown and Ashley Hawes are closing them down now, and this is sensational. If the boys on this Paymundo Yamaha LCR, Tony Brown and Ashley Hawes, Paymundo.com, an international trading organisation. This guy spotted them from his home in Canada, came over to see us at Silverstone and put some money in their bank. How about that?
Yeah, that was an amazing thing at Silverstone. You told me about that, and yeah, well, incredible.
Wonderful. So Simon Gilbert, they're number 11. They're Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood, the number 100 outfit. They're currently in 7th place. Simon Gilbert having a great ride in 6th here. So it's all unfolding behind. Yeah,
and that rear shot coming out of Sterling's there, you can see the value of having the bad weather rear lights. They're not brake lights, they're just, oh, yellow flags, somebody spun. There's yellow flags out, what's happened there? Oh, yeah, that's it.
Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charlwood in the gravel. That's on the exit of Clearways, I think, yep. Clark Curve.
Really fast, that one.
So they're out of it. So...
And do you know, when you see sometimes a solo go in the gravel, they can extricate the solos reasonably easy from the gravel. These things have got so little ground clearance, the thing's bellied out, so they're generally never able to get these sidecar outfits out of the gravel.
The green Driver Wolf BMW at the head of this bunch, that's Roger Lovelock and Aki Alto, the outgoing champions. They cannot use, and that's another spin.
No, I think this is one we've just seen. This is the one at Clearways.
It is.
At this point, you're thinking, hang on, shouldn't we be going the other way?
They're going in backwards and just waiting for it, the passenger.
He's got his foot down, trying to slow it down a little bit, look.
It's going to end in tears, he knows that, but it digs in and it won't go anywhere. The gravel doing its job.
Absolutely.
Slowing it down beautifully before they slam it into the tyre wall, which they don't do. So this is Peach and Tony Brown now. Tony Brown and Ashley Hawes, number 57, on a very fast Yamaha R1, right with them.
Yeah, I was saying about the rear lights. They're not brake lights, they're just on the whole time that the weather's bad or deemed to be conditions that you're not going to be able to see so well. And actually some of the solo classes in certainly World Superbike now, they have to run them as well. And you can see the value of them. Just look at this back shot coming out of Sterling's. Just look how much spray that those three wheels are developing, and it's a really good thing that those lights are on. You can see them standing out there.
Absolutely. Well, what a battle we've got. Ben Holland and Lee Watson doing a great job. They've broken clear of Hegarty. Now, Andy Peach, Charlie Richardson seemingly settled in 4th place, but they have lost points. They'll be losing something like 16 points on the people who are their big rivals, the team Holland and Watson, who are at the head of this bunch. But look at Tony Brown. Over the back goes Ashley Hawes, who won the 2012 World Championship with Tim Reeves. And as I said at the outset, Tim Reeves has 3 former and 1 current passenger in this race.
Yeah, and when you look at the sidecar passengers, they're trying to get the weight over the back of the outfit. Obviously get to the inside to stop to keep the weight on the inside of the corner, but they're also trying to keep the weight over that back wheel when the driver's trying to accelerate, because there's very little weight other than that on these back wheels, and they spin up so easy.
Well, look at this. Look at this. This is Roger Lovelock making the move on Simon Gilbert. Right behind him, 73, Craig Chaplin.
Ooh, big contact there. Look at that. You see the mudguards hanging off Lovelock's machine.
You wouldn't want to do that to Simon Gilbert because he's another big lad as well.
Well, he's done it. Too late for that.
So the sidecar wheel arch suffering a little bit of damage there on Roger Lovelock's Driver Wolf BMW, but charging on. Aki Alto, the Finnish passenger in the all-black leathers, doing a great job for the driver from Marlborough. Under the bridge they go, the fastest part of the circuit. This is 6th gear. In the dry, they'd be approaching 155 miles an hour on that Pilgrim's Drop before Hawthorne Bend. We're at Stirling's with the race leaders, the Reeves brothers, 2013 British champions. Will they do the World Series again next year? They opted not to do it this year, contested all of the British rounds, and coming here, they had won 14 out of the 16 races contested. That's impressive.
And this looks like another one.
This looks like win number 15. Yes, absolutely, and double points, so they will finish with a massive total, already putting it out of reach on 390. Wonderful, wonderful shot from Reeves, the SMT Honda Racing Suzuki.
Yeah,
whether or not Tim Reeves will continue with Robin Croft for next season is the subject of some debate at the moment, but hopefully they will.
Yeah.
Simon Gilbert, number 11, with Ashley Moore. Then it's John Clark and Justin Sharp, number 90. The man from Banbridge, County Down, the farmer, in actual fact. John Clark, but what a force he is, and coming good. Young Ben Bygrave behind him. Ben Bygrave back for the first time with Dan Sale, TT winning passenger, in the chair.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good to see Ben Bygrave back running number 74, the blue one-piece fairing, designed and built by Ben and Tom Birchall, formerly that bike.
Oh, it's going backwards, that's it. Well,
it's me talking about it, and they're upside down. Underneath that is Ben Bygrave, lost it at Graham Hill Bend, fortunately on the grass.
Yeah, you're just talking about the fairing, now they need another one, I think.
They're getting
the
extricating
out,
Ben
yep.
Bygrave, he's okay. It was a soft landing. Dan Sale turning the bike over. There's nothing they can do about that. That's their race over. But they'll be back tomorrow.
You'll see him, it spins. If it spins going the other way, you've got the sidecar wheel keeping you in one piece. Now it's going, you don't want to be spinning that way because it'll grip. Watch it grip.
There's no corrective lock either.
There's nothing, no.
No corrective lock. Nothing you can do about that. He knows he's going in backwards. If you had a speech bubble on Dan Sale, it would be saying, oh, no.
Yep, not again.
And here we go. And once it goes that way, the momentum throws. You can see that beautiful. What a lovely.
That is a nice bit of glass fibre work, that.
Isn't it nice? Yeah. And apparently suffering no damage. Look, Ben Bygrave will be tucking his head down now. And on the grass it goes. Lucky not to sustain a neck injury. Up and over it goes. Both guys underneath, but both okay and on their feet. Right then, Andy Peach has now got the better of Sean Hegarty. So he is closing now on lap 8 of 10. Andy Peach up to 3rd. He's got second wind. Quite what happened to him, I think you hit the nail on the head. There were certain areas of the track, James, where he wasn't quick and he wasn't confident.
Yeah, but I don't know what's happened now, because he has got his mojo back, so to speak, because he dropped right off the pace. And now it looks like we got 3 laps left, including this one. So there is a chance. What's his last lap? Let me just work this out. No, I don't think he's going to have the pace to catch his main rival in the championship, Holland, for second.
Well, it's damage limitation, because he is giving away 8 points, whereas prior to this he was giving away 16 points. He's giving away 8 points now. These points. Oh, and another one. That's Craig Chaplow and Patrick Farrance. Do you know, I was watching the solo races or qualifying.
Graham Hill Bend.
Slippery there.
Graham Hill Bend is really slippery. Look, that's where all the wreckage has been caused in both Super Sport qualifying, Super Bike qualifying, and now Super now sidecar race.
Absolutely.
It is really slippy, that corner, for some reason this weekend.
I saw, I mean, a number of bikes went down in Supersport at that area.
That's it, yeah.
In qualifying, so that was a big one. Just managed to save it, but it flew up on the entrance to the corner, and then, of course, unable to save it. Craig Chaplow underneath, but both up on their feet again. So plenty of drama at the bottom of Graham Hill Bend. It is tipping down here now. The weather is deteriorating significantly, but still in second place, it's Ben Holland on the Finning Cat. Third, it's Andy Peach. Fourth, it's Sean Hegarty. Fifth, and riding really well, Tony Brown and Ashley Hawes. Chaplow then out of it, so that's elevated Roger Lovelock to sixth place. You can see that Ben Holland is doing a quicker lap, nearly half a second, nearly a second, in fact, quicker on that last lap than Andy Peach. So Ben Holland chasing. There's your race leader, though, the Reeves boys, 9.4 seconds clear. What do you think, mate?
Yeah, I think that Reeves are really slacked off here. They're a couple of seconds slower than both the second, third and fourth place, man. And really, because they don't have to go any quicker.
Well, that's your second place.
Holland, yeah, in second. And I think he got the go ahead from his. Oh, here we go. Brown.
Tony Brown's through on Sean Hegarty. Up to fourth then, Tony Brown and Ashley Hawes. This will equal, well, it'll better their best ride ever since coming into the Eastern Airways British F1 Sidecar.
Hegarty sideways there.
He's got a problem. I reckon the tyre's gone off.
I think it's a tyre issue, yeah, because he just had it completely sideways there. Nothing he could do about Brown passing him and pulling away.
Might even be a flat tyre. We don't know. James Neve on the back's big lad. Let's see if we can see anything visible with that. But it definitely appears to have lost. Well, he's definitely slowed down. He's lost traction from his early flying laps.
Around that back cap part of the course, you can see it's raining a lot harder than it is here in the pits. It's really wet. Lots of line water down there. Lots of spray as well.
Up to fourth then. Tony Brown and Ashley Hawes. We are on the penultimate lap. I don't think Sean Hegarty and James Neve can do anything about the flying number 57 Yamaha. Paymundo.com Yamaha LCR ahead of them. Tim Reeves, SMT, Suzuki.
Start the last lap.
On their last lap, away they go. Got this one sewn up on their way to another maximum here, win number 15. They've only been beaten twice this year, once by Hegarty, the number 33 outfit, and once by Ben and Tom Birchall last time out at Silverstone, and that was an absolutely ding-dong, daggers-drawn battle from the lights to the flag. Yeah, it was. I saw them in the presentation area, the podium area afterwards, and they weren't speaking that much. There was a little bit of needle between the two. There was indeed, and hopefully we won't see any more of that, but there was a bit of needle, definitely.
No, I don't mind a bit of needle.
So long as it doesn't spill over.
No.
There's Roger Body ahead of number 70 Rupert Archer with a lady passenger, Shelley Smithies. Let's have a look here. There's a lot of debris and muck on the circuit. What's going on?
I don't know what's going on.
That's Jamie Wynn. I tell you what that's all about. That's his girlfriend in the sidecar.
Oh, is it?
That's Shelley Smithies, the girlfriend of Jamie Wynn, is in the sidecar of Rupert Archer.
I want to see her come back past him and tap his flipping wheel arch.
Mark Edwards and Lee Barrett, they got the Kawasaki flying. They're still in 11th place, so they've done well. Back with the race leader then, Tim and Tristan Reeves on their final lap, sweeping on to an imperious victory here in appalling conditions. But as we said at the outset, James, whilst it's tricky, they don't fall off them. They do tip them over. No, yeah, sometimes you can spin out. We saw a couple of going in the gravel there without tipping over, and it looked relatively safe, but then we've seen a couple that have been on the back. And even he's on the ragged edge. Yeah, there's just no grip. That's the problem. That was a definite threepenny bit turn there. It was seesawing all the way around there. Over the line he goes, the checkered flag, and they've done a brilliant job, Ben Holland and Lee Watson. Lee Watson cannot conceal his excitement. Right behind him, Andy Peach, and he has given away 8 points. So this second place in the title stays alive until the second race today, the final race in the Eastern Airways British F1 Sidecar Championship. And it all goes down to the wire, but no mistaking, a brilliant 15th victory this season for Tim and Tristan Reeves. SMT Racing Suzuki, what a great job they've done, and they have one more race in which to do it all over again. never really in doubt from the outset from pole position. He's got to be pleased. 4th place for Tony Brown and Ashley Hawes. What a brilliant performance for these newcomers, winning the BSB Championship, coming up into this series to play hard and fast with the big boys, and they've more than acquitted themselves. Sean Hegarty and James Neve on the number 33 Q8 Suzuki. Well, we do not know the reason. We suspect, James Whittam and I, that tyres were going off. Certainly he slowed. We saw the pace, James, that he could run at in the early stages.
Yeah, he just didn't look to have the grip at the end, and by then it had started raining a little bit heavier on certain parts of the track, and he just looked like he couldn't do much about it himself.
Well, certainly nothing wrong with the passenger. He's a big, strong lad, and that has historically been Sean Hegarty's problem, where passengers have been unable to stay the pace. But certainly this time, and there it is, the numbers 4 and 60. There's your race winner, Tim and Tristan Reeves, and the podium forming up on track, as it were. 2nd place, the Finning Cat Suzuki for Ben Holland and Lee Watson. And then Andy Peach and Charlie Richardson completing the podium, having recovered from what was 5th place. Rick Lawrence doing his customary handstand, or just the tail end of it, with Brian Gray. And Reeves will be delighted. He's on home ground. The Kentish man has done it again here at Brands Hatch. There we have Rick Lawrence doing his handstand. One of these days, he's going to fall out on the tarmac. So let's have confirmation of that result then. That fantastic win for Tim and Tristan Reeves. 15 they've made it. So Holland and Peach, the championships, 2nd place, very much alive between those two. Outstanding ride for Tony Brown, Ashley Hawes. Hegarty and Neve ran hard at the front. From fighting in 2nd, they got down to 5th. Lovelock and Alto. John Clark, Justin Sharp, Simon Gilbert, Ashley Moore, John Holden, Andy Winkle, Ian Drown and Ken Edwards. That's your top 10. Barry James, good fight in 11th place. Edwards and Barrett, despite their fire yesterday, they scored points in 12th. Brian Gray and the head-standing Rick Lawrence. And new boys from BSB, Matt McLaurin and A.G. Hope, wildcards 14th. Good for them. So it's academic at the top of the championship because the title already won, but the gap now just 20 points for 2nd place between Ben Holland and Andy Peach. So he clawed a few back. That's what he needed to do. Will it be enough in the final analysis? All will be revealed later in the day. Lovelock up to 4th, ahead of Hegarty. Edwards still running there in 6th. Barry James in 7th. What a great championship. Poor old Chaplow ended up on his roof. Birchells, of course, they scored 85 points from just 2 rides, and not here this weekend. Maybe we'll see them next season. John Clark, Justin Sharp, Horsepole, Roger Body, Ian Guy, Rupert Archer. It was a rude awakening for him, first time in the championship, but he'll be back for more in 2014. Tony Brown did himself a paragood today with 4th place.
Right, well, I'm going to break a bit of a trade secret here. Tell everybody at home just what you told me about where you're wearing bin liners.
Yeah, I've got big bin liners on my feet and they go right up to nearly to my hips.
Nice, nice. So you've got bin liner stockings. That's effectively what we're saying, yeah?
That turns you on, doesn't it? Too fair, come on.
I can't really say too much about that, but my, what a revelation. Congratulations on the win, 15th of this championship. What was it like out there from your point of view? It looked great fun coming out of Clearways.
Yeah, it's good fun in it, and there's a lot of people here standing out in that rain, so you've got to put on a, try and put on a good show. But I can't believe how slippery the shorts, the Indy part of the circuit is. And as soon as you turn left and get on the back straight, there's a ridiculous amount of grip. So it's two contrasting things, really, But I'm not looking for. I bet the old boys on the solos aren't looking forward to it. There's not much grip out there, especially into paddock and the hairpin. Every lap was like a nightmare trying to get it stopped.
Certainly not easy to gauge the level of grip out there. Very hard for you as well, Tris, on the side of the outfit.
Yeah, you just got to basically, whenever you can, get over the back wheel and try and get it to drive, because, like Tim said, especially into paddock that first lap, Sean sort of showed his nose and we was out wide, and where it was even worse, less grip, but luckily we managed to hold it, and I don't know what happened to him in the end, but we got away from him,
What's the toughest part about riding an outfit like that in this condition?
Vision, just vision. If you're lucky enough, like we were, to get away in front, you're obviously in a much better position, but if you're anywhere in the field, you've just got no vision, because there are 65 men off the ground, and if you're following one, you've got a 10-inch wide tyre that's literally shooting the spray right in your face. So vision's a thing, but it's good fun. You've got to do it, innit? Massive thanks to all my sponsors. They all know who they are, and H&S and Haith and SMT, and Thanks very much, and hopefully we can do the same again later on.
Very nicely done. We'll let you go to the podium. Well done.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
There you go. Tim and Trish will now make their way up to the podium. Just while they're doing that, let's have a look at the highlights of that very spectacular sidecar race.
Spectacular it was indeed, because it was always going to be slippery out there. Interesting to hear Tim Reeves' comments about it being a track of two parts. That certainly explains a lot of what we saw. But from the outset, Sean Hegarty and James Neve from the front row made it very clear that they wanted to do something about Tim Reeves, and they pushed him almost wide at Paddock Hill Bend. But on the run-up to Druids, Tim Reeves managed to get the better of him. Later on, Andy Peach slotted into second place, because in second in the championship, he needed to protect his points. His nemesis and arch-rival Ben Holland and Lee Watson on the Finning Cat Suzuki were chasing hard. Out went Gary Horspoll and Paul Napton, spinning their Honda into the gravel, and Horspol's annoyance evident. Ricky Stevens and Ryan Charwood suffered a similar fate. Again, the slippery surface on the close short circuit playing into everyone's hands. And now Lovelock went through as well. Ben Bygrave and Dan Sale also slid at the bottom of Graham Hill Bend, capsizing their outfit. First time back in the championship. It'll get better from now on. Another one to suffer the same fate, Craig Chaplow and Patrick Farrance. It's obviously very slippery there. They'll enter the line for the second race, much, much wiser men. Meanwhile, at the front, Tim Reeves and Tristan in the chair marched on to their 15th victory. A stunning, stunning ride for the Reeves boys. Well done.
Yes, well done indeed to the Reeves boys, Tim and Tristan, their 15th win of the championship. Really a dominant display by them. Also a dominant display by Josh Brooks in the British Superbikes qualifying, it has to be said. James Whittam and James Hayden have joined me here at the end of pit lane, as you can probably see. So, Mr. Whittam, let's hear from you about Josh Brooks and that performance in Superpole. Really rather good.
Yeah, really. And when you spoke to him, he said, I spoke to Charlie, and he said, kind of a wry smile on his face, and said, not a lot to lose. And that's how he rode. He loves the way, he likes it a bit loose. The bike seems fairly well suited to those conditions, if I dare say it, better than it is suited to the dry. And yeah, good. And I'm expecting the same. He'll go out swinging in the race, I think.
It's interesting what you say about the conditions perhaps favouring the motorcycle, because the conditions were so tricky. I mean, that really has been the theme, the editorial theme of the afternoon so far. And James, we really can't get across just how difficult it is to ride these motorcycles in this sort of thing.
No, that's right. You know, it's they've got a lot of power, 220 brake horsepower. They're light. You know, it's slippy. They spin up. You know, obviously without the old electronics as well. You know, the old traction controls and stuff like that that used to help out a lot. But it's you know, it's the same for everyone. It's just, it really is one of those little extra rolls of the dice that just adds another little dimension to this fascinating championship finale.
It's certainly been dramatic so far. Let's take a look at the grid then, and let's line this all up for you. Josh Brooks it is who is on pole position with that time of 1:37 flat, and then nearly half a second behind him Shane Byrne. Alex Lowe's on the Samsung Honda is in third. Look at that though, for a second row of the grid. It's three per grid here. Josh Waters leads that in fourth place. Carl Harris is in fifth and Lee Costello is in sixth.
I can't believe that second row. Waters, Harris, Costello. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what's impressive for me about Brooks, Byrne and Laws, the fact that in conditions where they've got a championship to play for,
they are
it's so
still
easy to sling your bike up the road, put it in a fence and not be at a race in race one this afternoon. You know, to be fair, for Harris and for Linfoot and for those, you know, Costello, yeah, fine, brilliant, but not a lot to lose. You can stick your neck out a bit more in their position.
Yeah. Caution to the wind there. We should also at least nod towards, you can see the championship points there, 1 point separating Shane Byrne and Alex Lowe's. James Ellison was the rider I was going to talk to, 562 points there. And James Ellison down in 16th place, 6th row on the grid. What on earth is going on with the
I know he said he had a steamy visor or whatever, but it's sort of... those things at our level, I just think...
I can't believe it.
I just think they're nearly inexcusable. I mean, it's sort of... we know it happens. Go on, sorry.
It's a bit of a shock to me, like it was for you, that, you know...
Just because
these days, that happens.
And you've got to have two helmets, you've got to have everything perfect, you know, brand new, perfect ref box, you know, those sort of things. And, you know, it's just, you know, I just feel for him a little bit as well. I mean, Ellison... He really raised his game at the start of the showdown and looked suddenly a slightly different proposition to what he'd been all year. But these little things just...
You know what? He's had a visor issue before, that here.
Yeah.
Because his visor came detached. And I tell you what, in my day, you just take your visor off and you squint a bit, like that.
Get a finger cracked open.
Now
That's a bit quicker now.
Now that explains a lot, but we'll leave that there. Talk about Shane Byrne and Alex Lowe's, because the top two in the championship, second and third on the grid. We have already touched on Josh Brooks, but what do you make of Shane Byrne's performance, given everything he's gone through recently?
Yeah, brilliant. And considering he's been on the grass at like 100 miles an hour in the bend that everybody's crashing down at Graham Hill, and with whatever he's got to lose, that is an impressive qualifying. When he didn't really have to go that quick, first 2 rows were done on him.
And it was a very measured performance as well. You know, he crept there. He heard, you know, Brooks had set down that real marker, and he just picked his way through it, and it was a very methodical, very Shane Byrne champion-esque ride.
Shaving bits off here, bits off there, not trying to do it all in one go.
Exactly. Yeah.
I did ask him in the post-qualifying interview there, looking at the bigger picture, how important was it for him to be faster than Alex Lowe's? Alex Lowe's has qualified in third. How important do you think it is?
Well, he kind of shot you down there a bit.
He did, didn't he?
Thought out question. He said, well, he's got to win, I've got to win, that's it.
But
I think, as in drawing your line in the sand, I think it's quite important. And I think I've spoke to Alex Lowe's a little bit this weekend, and he's not as confident and as kind of bullish as what I expected him to be.
And you can definitely see the nerves. I agree with James there, and we spoke about this earlier ourselves. You can just see a little bit of that nerves coming to Alex, and you can expect that as well. You know, Shakey's won the championship 3 times. He's been there, he's done it, he's got the T-shirts, right? You know, Alex is his first time. He's feeling a bit of that pressure. He's come here, he knows it's Shakey's strong track, and I think we're seeing a bit of that. I think also, though, when the flag drops and he gets going, I think that will, he'll shed all that and he'll concentrate on what he's got to do. But we're definitely seeing a slightly more nervy Lowe's.
And we don't have long to wait. It is a race this afternoon. Looks like we're going to have similar conditions. So who's your money on? The pair of you. You first.
Well, I've got him in the sweepstakes. I'm going for race 1, Ellison. Thank you. Nice. At stake.
James?
I think Brooks looks really strong. If he keeps up right, I think he'll win it.
Interesting there about Josh Brooks. Right, we're just going to head off now. Before we do, though, quickly need to tell you that at 3:10 today, you can see the first race of the triple header here from Brands Hatch. Stay with us, British Eurosport 2 for that. We are live at 3:10. And also up next, it's Superpole from Jerez. This is World Superbikes. They're on Spanish soil for that. Can Tom Sykes do it? Can he stick that first hand on the trophy this weekend? We'll find out with that live next with Steve Day and Neil Hodgson. We'll see you back here at Brands Hatch for the resumption of the action. See you back here very soon indeed.